The truth.
The 993 has become a legend. It's the last air-cooled design, and for some, the last real Porsche. So what happens when you take a legendary Japanese craftsman and cut holes all over it? Well, you get an RWB. Now this is clearly no normal Porsche. It's been graced by the hands of Akira Nakai, who is the creator of RWB. Now this is either something that you find very fascinating and incredible, or something that you find completely sacrilegious. I'm more in the first group, but a lot of air-cooled 993 Porsche fanatics don't really agree with changing the design of what is a spectacular looking car from the factory. RWB stands for Rauh Welt Begriff, which means rough world concept when translated into English. It's a German term. However, it also represents the drift group that Nakai was part of back in Japan. It all started back in the 90s when Nakai got his hands on his first Porsche, a 930. At just the age of 28, he built his first RWB, which is now one of his most legendary builds, of course, and has become known as Stella Artois. The most incredible part of this, however, is despite all of his success, the way he creates an RWB Porsche remains very much the same as his original design. All the parts come to you already painted, and then Nakai himself will come out to your garage with his toolkit full of dated tools that are questionable yet work so well, and he will do it himself in a matter of days. The kit comes with front and rear bumpers, fenders, canards, and often a wing, sometimes suspension, as well as wheels. Just the bumpers and fenders alone cost $22,000, so when you start adding in wheels and suspension work, it gets closer to $35,000. That is, of course, after you supply the car yourself. Now, you don't have to have a 993 Porsche. They've also done 930s and 964s, although the 993, in my opinion, is one of the best looking builds that they do. Nakai was able to build this car in just 3 days at RWB LA. He runs on cigarettes and the occasional Stella Artois, which is a questionable approach, but you can't really argue with his craftsmanship. The most impressive thing is everything is done absolutely by hand. He doesn't take any measurements. His steady fingers, his mind is able to create and remember how to design these cars, and he does it all freehand. You'd think that occasionally he would mess up, that things wouldn't be perfect, but they aren't. Some people were talking online on forums about how the owner wanted to add a tow hook at the last minute, and Nakai just free-handed a circle in the middle of the newly done front bumper. He was worried at first, but it came out absolutely perfect. His tools are dated, he uses a grinder without wearing goggles, but it works so well. He knows his tools like an extension of his body, and it's just spectacular what he's able to do without any sort of modern equipment, machines, CAD, or anything. Every car is given a name, a combination of the personality of the car, the driver. This one is referred to as Hamachi. Now, I've had a lot of Hamachi sushi, but I don't think this is something that I'd really want to eat. This vehicle started life as a 1995 993 Carrera with 60,000 miles on it. The list of modifications is extensive, so let's dive right in. First off, it's painted in Giallo Maggio, which is an OEM Lamborghini Aventador. How cool is that? Not only does it look stunning, but this car is so striking on the road. It gets more attention than driving a supercar. When we were parked just taking exterior shots on the side of Mulholland Highway, people would pull in, take pictures, ask about the car, because they've never seen anything like it. It's got a 16-piece super wide race version body kit. Now, RWB lets you choose between something that's a little less showy and more narrow all the way up to a race kit like the one on here. Although if you're gonna do an RWB, you might as well go all out. The fender flares are absolutely incredible and allow for massive Toyo R888 tires on it. The car used to have a massive Kamiwaza spoiler. It's been replaced by a classier, more integrated ducktail, which I really, really like. It's also got front and rear canards, rivets all over the body that to some look like it's destroyed the beautiful lines of a 993, but to me, it shows the passion, it shows the raw nature of rough world concept. The wheels are LRC Rotiform 3-piece forged wheels equipped with Toyo R888s. While Nakai admits that the RWB kit is predominantly for looks, because of his racing heritage, a lot of people actually use these RWBs as track-focused vehicles. And because of those wider fenders and the bigger wheels, you're able to fit wider meat in the rear, and handling isn't sacrificed whatsoever. The suspension is aerodynamics with an Akira management system. You've got tons of adjustability here right beneath the e-brake. That way you can slam it at car shows, but you can also ride at a comfortable distance off the ground if the terrain gets a little rough. And it also handles with very, very little body roll at all. Now, stock the 993 has a 3.6-liter flat six that makes 270 horsepower and 243 pound-feet of torque. By today's standards, that doesn't sound like a whole lot, but let me remind you, this weighs just 3,080 pounds. That means it's good to hit 60 miles an hour in 4.7 seconds, which for 1995 is blisteringly quick, and even for today's standards, is very, very fast. Now let's talk handling. This car has a Momo steering wheel with a 997 GT3 Cup quick release on it. The car is very planted. You hear every mechanical noise. This is nothing like modern day cars, of course. Even though it has a modern touch to it, it's very, very much raw and feels pretty much as close to a go-kart as you can get on the road. The brakes don't stop as well as you're used to on a modern car, but something about it, that screaming flat six and the 6-speed manual gearbox, whew, this thing is a downright riot. On the inside, we have Alcantara everywhere. We've got diamond stitching and these race buckets with a racing harness. The passenger seat doesn't even have a seat belt. The dials are OEM, they look gorgeous, but we've got a yellow backing behind it that really looks nice with the exterior. They've done such a good job inside and out with this car. In the front trunk, you've got access to the Akira management system as well as where the focal head unit lies. It looks absolutely stunning. Of course, we've got an RWB roll cage in the back, no rear seats, because why would you need that in a race car? Now, I have one gripe with this car. I absolutely adore the OEM 6-speed manual transmission inside of a 993 turbo. The shift linkage is so smooth, it slots into gear with the most precise yet satisfying feeling. This has a CAE shifter, which looks absolutely gorgeous with the exposed linkage, but it's a little bit more barbaric and a little bit rougher to shift into gear. I kind of prefer the smooth feeling of the OEM shifter, but it definitely goes along with the look and feel of this car quite well. The car is very easy to shift. Downshifts are a breeze. The pedal spacing is perfect for heel-toe downshifts. Whew. I am absolutely in love with this car. Right now, this car is actually currently for sale at Exotic Auto Sales. I've got the link in the description. They're actually letting it go for a pretty good price for what you're getting. This paint job alone is $20,000. And the more I drive this thing, the more I actually want to buy it myself. It's not the best handling car in the world. It's certainly not the most comfortable. It's not the quickest, but the raw emotion and the just, I don't know what word to describe it, ridiculous driving experience that this thing yields. It's off the charts. And the guy who currently owns this one has 5 of them. 5 RWBs. Guess that goes to show once you buy one, you absolutely fall head over heels in love. And one of the most special parts about it, and a reason that I would want to buy one, is the experience you get when it's built. For Nakai-san to come out all the way to your garage to build it with you while you're watching, while your family watches, is an unparalleled experience. I mean, imagine speccing out a Pagani and having Horatio come to your garage and build it right there and then. Obviously, there's a little bit more involved with building a Pagani, but that level of connection with the builder is absolutely awesome. And from videos I've seen, he looks like a genuine, humble, genius man. The seats in this thing are fantastic. The seating position is phenomenal. Typical Porsche. The location of the steering wheel, the seats, the pedals, the view over the front. so easy to see where to place the car on the road. You feel like you're in this airy greenhouse, and that's part of the reason why I'm absolutely sweating right now. It's so dang hot outside, and although there is a working AC, I've turned it down a bit so that you guys can hear my voice better, but well, there you have it. Although the RWB is not for some people, I give this thing 2 thumbs up. It's an incredible work of art. It's so fun to drive. I hope you enjoyed this review. Like always, please browse the channel and subscribe. I look forward to seeing you next video.